Bulls Show Daily Podcast by and for you.
Okay, so imagine you're given this, like, huge task, right? You got to transform a whole nation, like completely change it using technology.
Whoa.
Where would you even begin? Like, seriously?
Yeah, that's a big one.
Well, that's exactly what Ethiopia is trying to do, and their strategy is, well, it's pretty amazing. We're going to deep dive into this thing. They're calling the 5 Million Ethiopian Coders initiative.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard a little about that.
Yeah, we're using this article from the BRICS joint website.
Okay.
Basically, we're going to figure out what this program is really all about, why it matters, and what it kind of tells us about, the future of tech.
Cool.
So Ethiopia's goal is to train like 5 million coders
Wow.
in just 3 years.
That's ambitious.
Super ambitious.
Yeah.
And get this, over 31,000 people have already gotten certified, and there's like over 246,000 people currently in training.
That's a lot of coders.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
So from your perspective, why is Ethiopia going all in on coding like this?
Well, it's all part of their bigger plan. They want to grow their economy and really transform the country digitally. Like, they want to become a tech hub, a major player on the global stage.
Oh, so they're not just like playing around. They want to compete with the big guys.
Exactly. They're serious about this.
Okay, so it's more than just like teaching people how to code,
Yeah.
right? It's about building a whole like tech ecosystem.
You got it. They want to develop their own solutions, their own stuff, and not have to rely on technology from other countries.
So they want to be self-sufficient.
Yeah, like imagine them creating their own software, their own apps, even their own hardware. That's powerful.
Yeah, that's a whole different level.
Right.
And the article, it mentioned that the government is going to support startups, started by people who graduate from the program.
That's huge, yeah. Funding, giving them space to work, maybe even like priority in government contracts, all those things can really help a startup get going.
Right, so they're not just training people and then like throwing them to the wolves.
No, they're trying to set them up for success.
Interesting.
Think about it. What kind of tech could come out of this? Could Ethiopian coders create the next big social media platform?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Right. Or maybe develop some revolutionary new agricultural technology.
Yeah, the possibilities are kind of mind-blowing.
Totally.
And they're not doing this all alone, right?
Yeah.
They've teamed up with the United Arab Emirates.
Right. Yeah. Partnerships like that are so important. It's about sharing knowledge, resources, learning from each other. It's not just about the money.
It's about like working together.
Exactly.
So when we look at like the actual skills this program is teaching,
Oh, it's impressive.
web programming, Android development, data science, they even have AI in there.
Yeah, they're not messing around.
It seems like they're preparing these coders for like anything.
Pretty much. These are the skills everyone's looking for, right? Not just in Ethiopia, but all over the world. This training could open up so many opportunities for these young people, like better jobs, better lives, contributing to their country.
Yeah, it's not just about like individual success, right? It's about like lifting up the whole country.
Exactly. Using technology to make things better for everyone. It's a really exciting thing to see happening.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is. This program, it could completely change Ethiopia's tech scene. They could become a real leader in the digital world, a rising star. It's like watching a nation rewrite its future using code.
That's a great way to put it.
It's inspiring, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it is really inspiring to see a country just like go all in on technology.
Yeah.
Makes you think like what could happen next? What are the ripple effects of something like this? Could this like inspire other developing countries to try something similar?
Oh, absolutely, for sure. Ethiopia could be like a model, showing everyone how to use technology to really grow and develop. I mean, if they're successful, who knows? Maybe other countries will see that and try to do the same thing, right? We could see a whole wave of like digital empowerment around the world.
That would be amazing to see.
Yeah.
But okay, let's be real for a second. There are always like challenges when you try to do something this big, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, nothing's ever perfect. One thing that worries me is, brain drain. Like, what if these coders, once they've got all these awesome skills, what if they decide to go to other countries for work?
Right.
Especially if there aren't enough good jobs in Ethiopia.
Yeah, that makes sense. It'd be like, training all these tech stars and then watching them go shine somewhere else.
Exactly. That's the risk.
Yeah.
So Ethiopia's got to create a place where these talented people want to stay, right? They need strong companies, good salaries, and like a cool, vibrant tech culture to keep them around.
So it's not just about teaching people to code. It's about creating a whole environment where they can actually thrive.
Right, exactly.
So what else do you think they need to think about? Like, what are the other pieces of the puzzle?
Infrastructure is huge, like reliable internet, up-to-date equipment and laws that support tech businesses. You got to have all that in place.
Yeah, so it's kind of like building a house, right?
Yeah.
You got to have a solid foundation before you start adding all the cool stuff.
Exactly, a good analogy. And just like building a house, it takes, careful planning, investment, and people working together. Speaking of which, it's pretty impressive how this initiative is bringing everyone together. The government, industry leaders, international partners, they're all on board trying to make this happen.
It really shows what you can do when everyone's like pulling in the same direction, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And it makes me wonder, we've talked a lot about the good stuff, but are there any downsides or unintended consequences that we should be thinking about? Got to look at both sides of the coin.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's like, we don't want to get too caught up in the excitement and forget to think about the potential downsides.
Right. We got to make sure this benefits everyone in Ethiopia, not just the select few. Like, what if all the focus is on, high-tech skills? Could that actually make the digital divide worse, leaving behind people who don't have access to training or the internet?
Yeah, that's a real concern. It's like, we're building this bridge to the future, but not everyone can cross it.
That's a good way to put it. So they got to figure out how to make this thing inclusive, right? Maybe offer programs for different skill levels, different needs, make sure everyone has a chance to be a part of this digital transformation.
That's really important.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it seems like this initiative, it could really change things, but we got to be mindful of how it affects everyone, right? It's not just about cranking out coders.
Yeah.
It's about making sure everyone in Ethiopia benefits from, this digital future they're trying to build.
Exactly. And it makes you think, right, what if this thing they're doing, what if it starts a whole movement?
Mm-hmm.
Other countries see what Ethiopia is doing and decide to do something similar.
Yeah.
Could we end up in a world where everyone has access to digital skills, no matter who they are or where they're from?
Man, that'd be incredible.
Right.
Technology could actually empower people everywhere.
Yeah, it's a powerful idea.
It's almost like planting a seed in Ethiopia, and it grows into a whole forest of tech talent all over the world.
I like that. That's a good image.
And as we've seen, Ethiopia's not just teaching people to code.
Right.
They're trying to build a whole system.
Right. Encourage innovation, create opportunities.
Yeah, they're thinking big.
So we've covered a lot in this deep dive, the sheer scale of this program, the challenges, the potential impact it could have, not just on Ethiopia, but on the whole world.
Yeah, it's been a really interesting conversation. So as we wrap things up, I want to leave you with something to think about.
Okay.
Let's say Ethiopia succeeds, right? They train their 5 million coders. They create this thriving tech scene.
Mm-hmm.
What could that mean for the global tech landscape? Could it shift the balance of power? Could we see new centers of innovation popping up? Could it even change what it means to be a tech-savvy nation in the 21st century?
Those are great questions.
Yeah, because the future of tech, it's being written right now, and it's exciting to see countries like Ethiopia, taking the lead, shaping that future.
Definitely. It's a story of ambition, innovation, and how technology can really transform lives and economies. And this story is just getting started.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Ethiopia's coding initiative.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We hope you learned something new, and maybe you're feeling a little optimistic about the future, the potential of technology to make things better for everyone.
I am.
That's what it's all about.